Hello, I'm your host, Sam Q, and I'm here with Mr. Vogel for this week's edition of Between Two Freshmen. Now, can you please tell me your first name?
My first name is Walter.
But I heard it's Joe.
Joe's a nickname from my middle name, which is Joseph.
Can I call you Joe?
If it makes you feel like an adult, Sam.
I think I will.
Okay.
So, who is the true movie star here at the Hat? Because earlier, Mr. Papura, our previous webisode, made it seem very clear that it was not you.
Yes, Sam, I want to address that. I actually also have seen that episode, and I saw what Kevin said, and I'm conflicted, and I have been for quite some time with this. And I'll address your question in just a moment. I've been conflicted regarding this for quite some time because, at a personal level, I actually really like Kevin. He's a great guy. He's fun to joke around with. But the thing that bothers me is that it really concerns me sometimes when I think about the mediocrity that he brings into the classroom.
So it's certainly not Kevin. I mean, he might have a little bit of the personality for that, but maybe he's just a little bit too shy, really, to have that, that movie star persona. There are two people actually that probably come to my mind that I would say would be movie stars. Maybe they're not main actors in a film, but people would embrace them. One would be Scott Parsons.
Oh.
Yeah, Scott is, he's kind of a sleeper, I think, in terms of movie star quality. And the other one, if you can get him in front of stage and he doesn't forget his lines, I think has a real persona on the stage, would be Wayne Hatcher.
Wayne, now that's quite a person.
I think Wayne might be the movie star here at HOH.
True. He deserves an Oscar for that.
I think he does.
Yes, he does.
So, if you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be? Obama or Beyonce?
Sam, I think that I would have to say that I would like to have dinner with Beyonce.
Can I ask why?
Isn't it obvious?
Not really. Could you please explain?
Well, I spend a lot of time, of course, talking about, important issues that are going on, in the world. But what I really love is I'm really a pop star junkie, and I'd really like to have dinner with Beyonce so I could sort of get the inside scoop about some of these celebrities I like reading about, People and Us Magazine when I'm checking out at the grocery store.
That's so charming.
Yeah, it's sort of a hidden side of me. I actually spend a lot more time staying up on pop culture and following some of the blogs out there than I do actually academic stuff here at school.
But just like on the side.
Yeah, but you know what? Maybe that's just another example of how brilliant I actually I am, because I don't need to spend all that time. It just sort of, I guess I hear some of the stuff going on in the world in passing, and I just sort of soak it in and internalize it. It's a gift.
Can I ask you? I need to tell you something, Joe.
Please.
Be humble.
Sam, I think I take offense to that, and I think one of the things that I pride myself on would be the fact that I think I have a certain a humble arrogance about me. I call it humble arrogance.
All right.
And I think it's a good trait.
All right. So, who is your favorite world leader?
I would have to say that my favorite world leader, Sam, would be Vladimir Putin.
Do you follow his tweets?
You know what? I don't want some of these world leaders to sort of get bigger egos than they already have by knowing that I follow them. So to be quite honest, I'm only a follower of one world leader, and that's the King of Bhutan.
The King of Bhutan. I'm a follower. He's a big LeBron James fan.
Really?
Yeah, basketball's really popular in Bhutan.
Can you contact him and invite him over to you?
His father, the former king, he actually used to get medical treatment here at the clinic, so he's quite familiar with Cleveland. So if the present king makes a trip, I'm going to invite him out to see if maybe he wants to go to a Cavs game.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. How were the 80s for you?
The 80s? They were pretty good.
I was in high school at the end of the 80s. I remember the beginning of the 80s well because my sister Julie had a t-shirt that said 79, 80 on it in like rainbow color, and I remember, and it was sparkly. That was the era where people would go to stores to get iron-ons on their T-shirts, and I remember it was a change of decade iron-on T-shirt, and I thought that it was the coolest thing ever. When I got a little bit older, I realized that it wasn't maybe quite as cool as I thought. But the 80s were good for me. I was class president at times. I was on the academic challenge team at my high school. We did quite well, and I started traveling a lot, and I was also I was really involved in school.
Oh, sounds like a really rough time for you.
Sam, I was just telling you that I've always been as popular as I am now.
I know.
It wasn't rough, Sam.
I think it was.
Sam, the 80s, the music was terrible, and I get tired of all these people who say how much they love the music from the 80s, like Molly Christ and her husband Al. They're always talking about the 80s, but I'm not a fan of 80s music, but the 80s as a decade, it was a good decade.
Well, I think it was a pretty bad one for you, though.
Sam, why do you say that? I'm not certain. You're not hearing me, I don't think.
I am. Thank you to both Molly and to you, Madison. This actually wraps up
Sam,
our
I'd
edition.
kind of like keep talking. I'd like to talk about myself a little bit longer. So if maybe I've changed my mind, maybe if we could extend this interview. I have a couple other things I'd like to we could talk about things that I've accomplished in my life. Do we have time for that right now?
Actually, Joe, remember, you have to stay humble. I just said this to you a few minutes ago.
Sam, man, you're not listening. It's humble arrogance. It's humble arrogance.
No, but you need more humble than arrogance.
Sam, I think we're going to have to end this by disagreeing. We're going to have to agree to disagree.
We might have to continue this later. Well, this has been Between Two Freshmen with Sam Q. And this week's guest, Mr. Joe Vogel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.